The 2026 fight calendar kicks off this weekend on Saturday night with UFC 324 and the big debut on Paramount Plus with Gaethje versus Pimblett. We get a great interim lightweight title fight with Ilia Topuria being out between Justin Gaethje, the highlight, and Paddy Pimblett. So this is something new to the channel, but we're going to get in here and we're going to break down this fight and look at possible outcomes. And I'll give a prediction at the end of this video. Let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is where every fight starts, and that's standing. And the spacing is going to be a key factor on both sides, whether it's Gaethje or Pimblett. Where Pimblett, I think he wants to stay on the outside. That's going to be better for him, and it's going to be more advantageous to get inside if you're Justin Gaethje and trying to really get your striking off in this fight. Going to open up some takedown opportunities for Paddy Pimblett. But that's the risk that you're going to have to take, I think, if you're Gaethje, because I don't think that it's going to be well for him to stay out on the outside and try to play that game with him. Now, Gaethje has gotten much more patient with his striking. We saw that in the Fiziev fight right here, as you're seeing on your screen. This is later in the fight, a minute and a half into the third round, whereas definitely lost that first round, Gaethje did, also off of a takedown attempt. Fiziev got him in, some rough situations, but even in the striking. But Gaethje wasn't, outputting a ton of striking early in this fight. So I'm interested to see where he kind of wants to go in this fight with Paddy Pimblett, how aggressive he wants to be early. But I think right here, a quick little exchange late in the fight that we're going to see, and Gaethje, boom, good uppercut right there in the clinch. This is going to be a good spot for Justin Gaethje, and we've seen it, how many times with Justin Gaethje. He isn't as wild as he used to be back in the day. Still exciting fights, but I think this is right where you want to be if you're Justin Gaethje. You're just going to have to watch out for the takedown attempts. Going back a little bit further, we're going to pull out the handy-dandy annotator earlier in the second round of this fight. Right here, this is exactly what you want to see with this distancing with Justin Gaethje right here with Fiziev. Same thing with Paddy Pimblett. I think this is a good space for him. Get in there, clinch up, make sure that you're not going to get taken down, and work with that dirty boxing, or however Gaethje wants to go about it, whether he wants to go in and out and run some combos. And right here, this was a perfect combo, straight right to the left hook on the exit. I really like that 2-3 combo from Gaethje, and he didn't get the most out of it on that last clip that we just saw, but I do think that it helps out in a situation like this where you see we're at a similar distance right now, and that's because Michael Chandler is stalking down Paddy Pimblett, starting to get close to the cage. Paddy wants to keep his distance. Gaethje, I don't think will react the same way that Michael Chandler does in this situation. Paddy comes in with an uppercut and a 1-2 just to get his space back, really. And I'll run this clip right here for you. Uppercut, 1-2. Got his space back, and you see Michael Chandler backs all the way up to the other side of the cage. Imagine Gaethje throwing that 2-3 combo right there as Paddy comes in. That is a massive pathway to victory, I think, if he can start roughing up Paddy Pimblett a little bit and, get him rocked, or, even if it's later in the fight. I think that Gaethje has to get there first, but if he can be patient with it and get towards the end of the fight, we haven't seen we haven't seen Pimblett, tested 5 rounds in the UFC. So once we get to those deep waters of the 4th and 5th rounds, if we get there, that I think that Gaethje can exploit this kind of stuff. The movement slowed down a little bit for Pimblett, and we'll see. But I think that is a major key to victory, of trying to stay in tight space. Michael Chandler didn't do a good job of this, and this is really how Paddy broke him down in their fight. Staying with the spacing, this is a part of Justin Gaethje's game that I really think he has to be careful with in this fight against Paddy Pimblett in the stand-up, is how he ducks his head. And Justin Gaethje loves to duck his head. And here's a couple of clips back to the Fiziev fight. Throwing the overhand and ducking down with it. Right here, you get to see Fiziev goes down with the left hook. He's even timing it at that point with the left hook. He's waiting for that duck that Gaethje does. And he didn't even throw a strike with this one. If I scroll back just a little bit, you see just instant duck right there by Justin Gaethje. And he's anticipating some type of throw or something like that. But if you can bait Gaethje right into that, boom, knee right up the middle. Fiziev goes with the hook still. And now on to the Poirier fight as well. Same thing. Right hand, ducks down immediately. And maybe a little bit right there. You can get creative if you're Gaethje, fake a takedown or something. Doesn't look like he really, how John Jones used to tap people's knees back in the day. Kind of something similar to that. But again, straight duck, the right uppercut, shovel hook off of it for Dustin Poirier right there. And even to the point where Dustin Poirier's corner was telling him to hit on that.
Hide the kick behind that too, or the knee right up the middle, right? He's dipping every time.
This is the biggest reason why I say this is such an interesting wrinkle to this fight, because if you go right back to Paddy Pimblett's last fight against Michael Chandler, this was the start of the end. The beginning of the end was exactly that. We're right here, boom, knee right up the middle. Right as Michael Chandler's coming in, ducks a little bit, not quite to the extent that we see Gaethje right there, but that is the strike that really started the end of this fight right here. Opened up that big cut, follows up with a nice 1-2 for Paddy. That is where it gets dangerous for Justin Gaethje. So I do think that they have to watch out for that, and I'm sure Trevor Whitman is, working with Justin Gaethje to not let that happen, just because literally the last fight we saw Paddy Pimblett in the octagon, we saw this be, really the beginning of the ending. At that point is where Paddy moved on to the grappling. So let's talk about that ground game, and let's talk about the keys to victory for Paddy Pimblett, because I think he needs to get this fight to the ground ultimately and do similar what he did to Michael Chandler. I mean, if he can survive on the feet, land some decent shots, and get the fight to the ground, I think that he has a clear path to victory in this fight. And Paddy's got some of the slickest transitions in the game. Right here, you see, I'm going to go back just a little bit so you can see it. But look at that right leg for Paddy Pimblett. He's going to transition it over to get into a half guard to keep the pressure on Michael Chandler's right leg, to then posture up and throw elbows. And he talked about that this week already, that he wants to crush Gaethje's soul, essentially. And anytime I hear that from a fighter, I mean, I think that's a good thing to hear. He's going out there to beat Justin Gaethje down. If he gets a submission, he gets a submission. Maybe they have to stop the fight. But this fight was really kind of on that trajectory until Paddy starts to move a little bit. Now he starts to try to get that leg back out to advanced position. And as he does that, Michael Chandler is going to try to work his way around, pop his hips up and move over. And this is just, this is picture perfect jiu-jitsu. Watch that leg pop over. Oh, well, Michael Chandler's rolling and takes his back. Ends up getting the RNC out of that and getting the finish. But, like I said, Paddy's got some of the best transitions in the game. That was flawless right there. And exactly what, your jiu-jitsu coaches want to teach you. You want to be, just take it from Bruce Lee. Be water, my friend. You got to be able to move and transition with the other guy and getting the position. So now here is a little look at kind of what Fiziev was able to do with Gaethje. This is early in the first round, obviously, just 40 seconds into the fight. Fiziev is going to time that leg kick, grab the back of that leg, drive forward, gets an early takedown on Justin Gaethje in this fight. And like I said earlier, Fiziev won that first round off of the takedowns. This is the one that I think makes it a little bit dangerous for me if I'm looking at it from the Gaethje corner. Because this is a great job to stay out of the takedown attempt. Turns away and ends up rolling. That actually worked really good for Petr Yan early in the fight against Merab, turning away and getting away from it. Does a great job keeping Fiziev up with his legs and trying to roll all the way through. Then Fiziev is able to transition to this triangle choke. Now Fiziev is not able to lock it up. You see him get his legs around on Gaethje. That's not a good spot to be. It's not a good spot to be against Paddy Pimblett, I would say. More so even than with Fiziev. Fiziev obviously couldn't finish that. But, I kept the still image in here just to show you guys. He's got that locked all the way up. Obviously, he needs that foot further up on the other leg, so he could have actually locked it in. So Fiziev isn't able to lock it up at all. But now let's go to the King Green fight. Now, same exact situation. King Green, I think, almost even deeper. I think he kicks that leg out from underneath him. Yeah. Great job by Paddy Pimblett right there. King Green recognizes the kick is coming. He tries to go down and grab it, but the leg that's stabilizing him is kicked out from underneath him. Paddy is going to end up just jumping on a guillotine right here. Beautiful move. But what he transitions this into, he's very high up on the guillotine. And this just shows the IQ also of Paddy Pimblett, I think, when it comes to grappling. And we've seen this out of him since he entered the UFC. He's very high up. Look how that leg is already over the shoulder. He's already set up for exactly what he knows he wants to do. but he's going to keep that arm in there to make King Green, worry about the guillotine right now, because he's in a world of trouble either way. And I know King Green feels that leg on his shoulder as well, but, to keep that choke in for as long as he did was just to disguise what he was doing with his legs. You got to worry about that arm getting across the chin first, and then boom, locked all the way up, puts Bobby Green to sleep. My biggest takeaways from watching the tape would be obviously the spacing standing up that we talked about in the beginning. I think that Gaethje is more equipped to handle when Paddy wants to come in and maybe make some space and create an opportunity for Gaethje. And I think that 2-3 combo that we saw him throw against Fiziev would be perfect right when Paddy comes in. Obviously, you're going to have to get the timing, but I would like to see Gaethje be a little bit more, or have a little bit more sense of urgency. Be a little more aggressive earlier in the fight. Don't let Paddy get up round 1, maybe round 2. Obviously, this is a 5-round fight. Gaethje was fighting a 3-round fight against Fiziev, but don't take that time to get the timing down. I don't think is good for Gaethje. I think that he should try to start a little bit quicker than he did against Fiziev and take, a hold of those opportunities that Paddy Pimblett gives him. Get him, be able to block. Also, Gaethje does a lot of good things of just holding up the guard and, making sure that you're not going to get off any crazy shot, but, will absorb some shots. And I think that that's a good idea for Gaethje to do, to get in tight and work his dirty boxing. I think clinching up would be good. Don't let Paddy Pimblett get anything from the outside. Maybe limit the kicks, as in takedown-wise, from the outside. Limit the kicks. Don't let him catch those kicks, because I don't really like the scrambles. I don't think that's advantageous for Gaethje. I think that his path to victory is slimmer than Paddy's. I think Paddy Pimblett has a much more diverse opportunity to win this fight, whether it's being on the outside in the stand-up, and I really think that his grappling is better than Justin Gaethje's, just because I think Paddy Pimblett's one of the best in the game at being able to transition and roll with your opponent. I mean, you can see the hours of, time that he's put on the mats in the film. We saw the transitions with the Michael Chandler fight. So, all in all, what I'm going to end up predicting, I got Paddy Pimblett winning this fight, either, we'll say 4th round submission, because I think that it's going to take some time for him to be able to find his opening to finally get something going, but I think it's going to be more of a, tactical fight throughout the first few rounds of the fight. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think is going to happen in this fight, your guys' prediction for Saturday. I'm just excited to get some fights back. It's been like a month since we've had fights on our screens, so I'm very excited to get this back. It's a banger of a card. Let me know what fight you would like me to break down next, or if there's any previous fights. I want to get into breaking down older fights and looking at, some classic fights, really. I've definitely got some on my mind, but this is new to the channel and something I really wanted to make an effort to do in 2026, so I'm very excited about the opportunities of breaking down film, and, we'll just see where it goes. But hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed, and like button, and if you want to see more, hit that bell to stay notified. I'm excited for these fights. Let me know what you guys think about UFC 324 on Saturday night.